Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores, or I go to estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always trying to find things that either appeal to me personally or that I think you would like. And then I bring them home, trying to find out as much as I can about them, and then tell you guys about them. So here's what I got to say. Is this little glass vase. Now, I'm sure there's some people who are just going, "Oh my God, Claire, weren't you just talking that like you never see Fenton in thrift stores in Vancouver?" And like now the stuff is just popping up all over the place apparently. I was actually out at another thrift store that I have seen like Fenton at before. So maybe it's just something about the area. I'm not entirely sure, but this is Fenton, and I bought it for $1.49 Canadian. So for very, very little. It is very, very small, and it is actually like it's supposed to be listed as a vase. To be honest, I don't actually know if it is a vase. I think there's meant to be two, and it's actually a candle holder. But let's do a quick. We'll just measure it up. It is 3 inches across, and about 3 inches that way as well. And I eyeball this about just shy of 4 inches high. Tiny, tiny, tiny little thing. So, for what it's worth, I did actually get the black light out and tested it. It does not glow. It has no luminescence or whatever. It doesn't fluoresce, obviously, under black light. It has a very faint lime color, and that's probably just a sign of like when it was actually made. It's not uranium or anything. It's just a very nice little glass piece. Obviously, this rim is opalescent. And the style there is, it's got this cornucopia thing going on, but if you ever see a straight vase, which that kind of turn up on one side and turn down at the other like petal, that's the jack-in-the-pulpit style. Not so much this. I've seen this listed in a few different ways, but people who actually know what it is will always list it as a cornucopia. And if you actually have access to the Fenton Catalogue, you'll know that they originally called this a miniature cornucopia. And it was done in a bunch of different styles. And lucky for me, I have my Fenton book, so we're going to get that. And once again, like this is kind of, I really find reference books to be really super useful because it means that I don't have to go trolling through Google trying to find stuff. I could literally just go look in the catalogue instead. Anyway, Fenton Glass, The Second 25 Years by William Heacock. Again, this copy I think is from the 90s. I'm just going to check again. 1995. So it, as far as I know, it's got a list of some prices. It actually came, believe it or not, with like an updated 9596 price guide, which I don't really look at. I'm more here about the catalogue and the actual reference issues, pictures. But anyway, funnily and handily enough, this is the 1948 catalogue. If I can do this without bumping the camera. And apparently I can't. Let's just... Oh my God. Video problems. I can't do this without the camera getting in the way. Okay, someday I'm actually going to show you guys the setup and you're going to laugh at me because I have a really crappy tripod right here that I kind of... Okay, anyway, what we've got is basically this. It's called the Miniature Cornucopia. This is from the 1948 catalogue. Above, in 1948, all of the above were made in French and blue opalescent. The 7-inch and 9-inch bowls and miniature vase were also made in cranberry. So this is made in French and blue opalescent. Let's skip back a bit to the other section with the photos. Here's somewhere. Here we go, French opalescent. So that's the cranberry. Where's the green and lime, blue and yeah. So that's the blue opalescent. That's not what we want. What does it look most like? It looks like French opalescent. We know it was made in that color. And you can see here, plain glass, white rim. And that is what we have right here. Pretty good reference, I have to say. Very useful to have it. But yeah, 1948 catalogue. Thank you, Fenton Glass. We now know exactly when this was made. And I'm really impressed that it's lasted this long. Like, the first thing I did when I picked it up, I was like, oh, that's Fenton, because I knew straight away, looking at it, I was like, that has to be Fenton. The only question is, when was it made? And I knew that I could obviously just reference the book and I'd be able to find out, hopefully, fairly quickly when it was actually made, and turns out, yes, I was right. But the first thing I did, obviously, pick it up, run the hand over the rim like this, and like this, and then I did actually go through as well and just kind of feel around to see, can I feel any kind of catching rough spots? Are there any flea bites or anything? This is pressed glass, by the way. I know Fenton did a lot of blown glass. This is not. This is definitely pressed. You can see the seam line right there. They would have pressed it and then basically finished it by, grabbing it, crimping it, and turning it like that. But yeah, perfect condition. And I'm just astonished that it's done so well. And they sold it for $1.49, like $1.50. Plus tax, I guess. I don't know, extra 10 cents or something. Like, they sold it for nothing. I can only assume that the thrift store had no idea what they had. Obviously, they don't know there's vintage Fenton for something that's, what, 70 years old. 70 years old, my God. 1948, that was when it was made. Amazing. Now, would it be really nice if that was worth lots of money? Absolutely, yes. As it is, it's not worth that it's not worth a lot, but just grab the old iPad. So first thing first, if you actually want to take a look at the miniature cornucopia, different examples of it is like, basically, here you go. This is the blue opalescent. This is the uranium one, which I would have loved to have spotted. Like, uranium glass is one of those things that I'm fairly sure is going to remain collectible, simply because like all of this stuff can kind of be reproduced. Uranium glass, not so much, because obviously there's, a far greater bar to pass there to take radioactive material and use it in your projects. But you can see the French opalescent here it's really lovely. A few more examples there. I don't think they ever actually did it in the cranberry. Or at least I can find no examples of it in the cranberry. Uranium glass, yes. The milk glass, yeah, definitely. And then obviously here's the French opalescent, but that's about it really. No, yeah, no cranberry. Oh yeah, and the prices are going to be kind of all over the place. One here, $10 Canadian. This one here as well, $18 Canadian. To be honest, like, I've taken a look on eBay. Quick check to see the Fenton Cornucopia. What have we got for sold prices? The larger ones, there you go. That means they're not going to be great. The larger ones always have this crimped edge, by the way. The miniature ones always seem to have the smooth edge, and they'd be much smaller. I did find like one or two listing. Like, there doesn't seem to be many specifically of the French opalescent. There's plenty of the blues and the milk glass, and then some of the larger pieces, and that's kind of about it. Like, if we just go quickly to the filters, switch off the sold items, there's plenty of people actually selling it, but like, I think that was the only one I spotted that was specifically French opalescent. And the miniature cornucopia specifically. The rest always seem to be the larger ones. Oh wait, no, there was another one. But yeah, you can see here, this one says like pre-1970. This is someone who doesn't know, doesn't have the reference really, basically, for the, to know that it's actually from 1948, which is, neither here nor there, I guess. But let's say if this is actually being sold, I'm willing to say it's going to be worth maybe $10 to $15 Canadian. And that's probably going to work out maybe about $10 US, and then whatever you want to charge on shipping, which is not going to be a whole hell of a lot because it's quite small. I would say maybe, like, off the top of my head, I'd say I can probably ship that for less than $10 Canadian. So once again, this may be going up on Etsy, you never know. Still though, I'm really pleased to have found it. It's like I keep asking myself, where the hell is all the Fenton hobnail hiding? I never see it. And if I do see it in a thrift store, it's usually very badly overpriced. And I keep seeing photos of other, like, on the glass collecting subreddit, of other people going like, oh my God, look at all this Fenton hobnail that I found. I'm like, where are you guys shopping? I think this is definitely the first piece of Fenton hobnail I've ever seen, like, that I can actually buy. The rest of the time they're just priced at like, $20, $30 for one piece. And like, who's going to pay that? Basically no one. Not even for the good stuff. Certainly not from milk glass, which is what you're most likely to see. But neither here nor there. So glad that I found this. It's a lovely little piece. I'm pretty sure that it was meant to be a candle holder because you can see that little indentation down the bottom there. I think it's for a very small thin candle. I think that's what it was designed for. And it's a real shame that I don't have two of them, but that's the way it goes in thrift stores. You're not gonna get what you want. But anyway, here's my small joyful thing for the day. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.